Shaq is at the center of social media attention because of a couple of exchanges during his appearance on Angel Reese's podcast. What is this thing called? I think it's called Unapologetic. What is this thing called? Unapologetically Angel, right? So that's the name of Angel Reese's podcast. Most people are talking about Shaq saying that Angel Reese need to be playing in games, dunking in the short shorts that she wore during an appearance on Wild 'N Out, right? But that's not the only thing he said that caught people's attention. Shaq also talked about how he's going to be destined to be alone. He says he's destined to be alone, and that he gave his spin on how women are constantly changing standards when it comes to what is and is not cheating and what a man is and is not supposed to do. And because he can't keep up with that, he knows he's going to end up alone because he's too weird to keep up with that stuff. And Angel Reese tried to challenge him on this stuff, but Shaq is a guy who apparently knows what he's talking about. So this says Shaq thinks talking to women on his phone isn't cheating, knows he's going to end up being alone. Shaquille O'Neal is lamenting his love life. The NBA legend was transparent about how he feels about his romantic future, telling Angel Reese's Unapologetically Angel podcast, "I'm going to end up alone." He continued around the 40-minute mark. "I already know it because y'all making rules up as you go along. There is no handbook on how to be the perfect man or perfect husband, and y'all be making stuff up without telling us. If I'm not physically seeing somebody, me, the Diesel, and I'm with you every day and you know my schedule, it shouldn't matter what I'm doing on my phone. It's not cheating, and then you can't tell me that's worse than cheating. It's not. I just don't understand that. I already know I'm going to end up being alone. Nobody can understand me because I'm weird." Shaq explained his attention is currently on work, which might prove to be a problem in any relationship. "I always tell people, men should always be focused on three things: protecting, providing, and loving. But the problem with women is you all want it in the order that you want it in. You date me, you want the love first. Oh, let's go here. No, I don't got time for that right now. I'm a provider first. I only got 18 summers left and I'm going to be 70. I'm not going to be doing podcasts at 70. I'm not going to be getting deals at 70. So I'm trying to know all of this stuff out now." The Inside the NBA analyst divorced ex-wife Shawnee Henderson in 2011. The former couple share 4 kids, and O'Neal also has a daughter from a prior relationship. He previously took the blame for his marriage ending, explaining in his 2011 memoir, Shaq Uncut, My Story, that he was living a double life and that his cheating led to the divorce, per Yahoo. So we'll go ahead and play a couple of minutes here from that interview so you can hear it from the horse's mouth himself. Oh, wait a minute.
In Ohio, a 10-year-old girl was raped.
No free
Excuse
ads.
the ad, guys. We got double ads. You hit us with double ads
on CNN and streaming on Max.
Man,
No?
I'm gonna end up alone.
YouTube is so egregious, bro. Okay, so here we go. Excuse those 2 ads, guys. So here's that sound.
Why? Is that what you want?
No, because y'all be making rules up as we go along. Like, there is no handbook to be the perfect man or perfect husband.
You're right.
I know it. There ain't no handbook. And y'all be making up without telling us. If I'm not physically seeing somebody, me, the Diesel, I'm not physically seeing somebody, and I'm with you every day, and you know my schedule. It shouldn't matter what I'm doing on my phone. It's not cheating. And then you can't tell me that's worse than cheating.
Oh, my God.
Got him.
This is so egregious.
It's not. Like, I just don't understand that. So, but I already know I'm going to end up being alone. Because
I hope you find a lovely woman that understands you.
Nobody can understand me because I'm weird. And I have to be weird because I have to do it. I got to take care of my, like, so I always tell people men should be always focused on 3 things: protecting, providing, and loving. But the problem with women is y'all want it in the order that you want it in. Think about it. You date me, you want the love first. Oh, let's go here. Nah, I ain't got time for that right now.
Okay.
I'm a provider first. I got to get, like, I'm fit, only got 18 summers left, and I'm gonna be 70. Not gonna be doing podcasts at 70. Not gonna be getting deals at 70. So I'm trying to knock all this out.
So you outside?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm outside. So when I'm 70 and I look at that balance, oh, we nice. Now I could go do it. So, like I always tell people, like protect, provide, and love. And most men can give you 2. But if you have a guy that has the opportunity to give you 3, focus on the order that he wants to do it in. So
what about honesty and trust?
No, because y'all always talk about you want honesty and trust, but you don't.
What?
You don't.
Why not?
Would you like to go through a scenario? All right. Call me.
Right now?
Yeah. Just baby, play.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, baby?
How are you?
Ask me what I'm doing.
What are you doing?
Man, I'm looking at this girl. She got a fat. So I think before I come home, I'm gonna just flirt and get her number. Or, all right, that's honesty. Or go.
What you doing?
I'm just at a hookah bar, just looking around, just chilling.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right, I'll be home in a few.
All right, see you later.
Y'all always talking about, that's what I'm saying. Y'all be making rules up as long. Just be honest.
Why would you even think that you can say that?
Because you said be honest.
Is that what you're really doing?
I'm looking, yeah. You just said yourself. Right. Men are going to look.
They're going to look. But don't tell me on the phone, I'm looking.
Hold on, rewind.
Christian, I know you're not agreeing with this man.
We're going to go back to the point that you said.
Christian.
No, but hold on. Y'all always say, man, we want you to be honest. That was honest. I'm looking at this girl. She's beautiful, and I might get the number.
Get the number to do what?
Just to flirt. Or just to say hi, or just to hook up with one of my boys, or just to see. What? I don't know. She's fine.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying,
my man could never be like you. That's it.
No, but hold on.
My man could never be like this.
No, you said you want honesty. I'm not doing.
I want honesty, but that's something you still shouldn't be doing.
But I didn't do it. I'm thinking about it. You asked me what I'm doing. I'm looking at this girl.
Christian, why are you over there agreeing to this?
That's what you just said.
Whoever Christian woman is, get him.
But hold on.
Get him.
Hold on. That's what you just said. You want me to be honest?
Yes.
I'm here. She's there. She's beautiful. You said men look. I can't.
Men look, but you're elaborating on it.
I'm not elaborating.
You are.
I never said I wanted to do it. You asked me what I'm doing. I said I'm looking at this girl. I'm thinking about doing it. That's exactly what I said. And see, that's why y'all got to decide what y'all want and how y'all want it. See, y'all be making them rules as we go along. And there's a lot of beautiful, intelligent women out there. Please, somebody write a handbook. Please.
One of my glorious women out there, please write a handbook on how to teach these men how to be men. Please, I'm begging.
Yes, please. But don't sit here and say, oh, you want me to be honest. No, you don't. You want me.
I do want you to be honest.
All right, that's pretty much the idea.
Lord have mercy.
Oh, man. Shaq
he got really, going on, man.
Shaq really trying to Jedi mind trick these people out here with this stuff. Do you agree with Shaq on what he was saying there? And do you agree with the analogy that he tried to impose there, talking about, basically telling his woman, I'm thinking about doing something with this girl who got this fat ass, and how that means you don't want a woman, that women don't actually want men to be honest. Like, what's your take on that exchange?
Hey, listen. Hey, you want me to be honest? What's going
on? Yeah.
This is what I think about it. I think Shaq is weird. So that was a weird exchange. And if he is dealing with a woman in close quarters, and if he's being like that, I can see why he is considered weird and he's not understood. I really can. But here we go, man, with this is the same stuff, man, where we're talking about, people that are living in this pool, in this box, in this matrix where roles are confused. Everybody in this matrix, they're confused about where they should be at. Angel Reese is in that matrix, and so is Shaq. When Shaq is out here dealing with these mega thoughts,
right,
that is the mentality to have. So he's speaking from experience, from the life he's lived ever since he was in high school, I'm sure, where all the girls wanted him because they knew what he was, knew that he was going to be a ball player and all this other stuff. And, throughout his whole career, and he probably had trust issues with the women that he was dealing with. So if you're dealing with a woman that you're pretty sure is not loyal, well, why the hell should you be loyal? if you're in Shaq's shoes. So no, I'm not going to sit here and cut off a pipeline of potentials because I'm dealing with, with your ass. So while I'm out here at this hookah bar, I'm going to be looking at that ass and trying to, figure out what's going on. Let me get that number, see what's going on here. And so here's the thing. The women that are the mega thoughts need to be aware of who they are, which they won't. They need to be aware of who they are, their place, and just be a harem for Shaq or anybody else. Be one of the many wives. I really feel like the world would be a better place if these women really understood their place and realized that he's going to be around, jumping around and having multiple women, but you don't mind because of all the resources that he's going to be able to bring to you. But so Shaq doesn't live in the same world as everybody else. So as a regular everyday man, there still has to be this understanding of where you at or what pond you fish in. And if you're fishing in a canal, okay, if you're fishing in these murky, toxic waters next to a chemical plant,
a creek,
you know what I'm saying? You need to know what kind of fish you're dealing with here. And this isn't the prize fish that you hang up on a wall. This isn't the one that you is safe to eat. Okay, this is the ones you keep throwing back and the ones you keep dealing with, and you're just fishing for the sport of it. But if there's a man out here who's actually fishing in actual, fresh waters, and these are safe to eat, this is clean stuff. You ain't even no mercury or microplastics in this. And you could just fish in there. You know this is good to eat. You know this is a prize fish that you done caught it. And this is something that you can actually have with what people are considering a stable and balanced relationship where there's trust and all these good elements going on. But if you caught her at the club, she belongs to the club. If you caught her at, in Shaq's case, at front row of the game, you keep her there. If you caught her on Instagram, you keep her there. So basically, if you caught this alley cat in the alley, leave it out there in the street. Don't bring it out. Don't bring it up in the house. So Shaq is speaking from the perspective of which he lives his life, and that's gospel for wherever he's at. And he'd be a damn fool if he sat there and shut everything down when he found this girl on Instagram. So he needs to keep doing what he needs to keep doing. He needs to keep the rotation alive, because if you stop fishing, he ain't gonna have nothing. So he needs to keep the entertainment going and keep his lifestyle going. And if you eat that toxic fish, you're gonna be in the hospital in no time soon. But what are your thoughts, man, on Shaq Diesel saying that, hey man, it ain't cheating, just to look at some ass and get some phone numbers out there? What are your thoughts, bro?
All of that goes to say that if Shaq wanted to not be single anymore, he could cease to be single. Guys like Shaq love to talk a game. They talk a good game, but a lot of it is BS. If you don't want to be single anymore, bro, you don't have to be. Right. Like they like to wax poetically about. Drake does this. Drake is the same way through his music. They like to wax poetically about the idea. They romanticize the notion that they're going to find their person and be with this woman who's going to lock it down and hold it down. Meanwhile, the way that they actually conduct their personal life, they constantly find themselves within the company of the exact type of women who are the opposite of, who give them the exact, who are the opposite in terms of giving them the best chance to actually find that.
Correct.
And like you're your own agent. Like you have agency over your life. If you really wanted to find the kind of woman who's going to hold it down, you'd get her, you'd seek her. There's plenty of relationship-oriented, wholesome, down-to-earth, non-thought, good-looking women who would be a wife to Drake or Shaq. They're out there. Shaq and Drake just don't talk to those women because they talk to the strippers and the porn stars and the chicks on social media and Instagram and the adult film actresses. Those are the kinds of women they talk to. And they repeat this pattern over and over and over again. And when they are not getting the same result, they lament the state of their relationship status and how they wish it could be different, as if they don't have the power to change it. Bro, you can change it. So what are you talking about?
Right.
So from that standpoint, you're 100% right. Shaq is 52 years old, so he probably is going to be alone for the rest of his life, and he'll just keep sliding off on those same types of chicks. Shaq will probably be 70 years old, sliding off on 25-year-old IG models or whatever is the social media app that comes around during the time that around the time that Shaq is 70, because it's a choice, and these guys have made a choice, but they pay lip service to the idea that it's not a choice. It's something that they're confronted with because they have no other choice. Like, I have to be this way. I have to live this life. These are the women to whom these are the women to whom I have to pick from. And it's really not. It's really not. I look at somebody like Patrick Mahomes, who's been married for how long? The same woman, seems to have his wits about him. He ain't tripping. Some people already think he's the greatest quarterback ever. He's breaking all of the records. He made three-peat this year. Best Super Bowl, best quarterback in the league, living his best life. Been married for how many years? Got all of these kids. He doesn't seem to have any issues with it. You look at people, so it's not a pro athlete thing. It's a personal choice. And some of it is social engineering. Shaq falls into the social engineering category of, this is the life I want to live. But what he's doing, and in my opinion, it's disingenuous, is he's selling, I think, other men who want a Shaq-type lifestyle on the idea that if you aspire to be in my lane, this is what you ought to be prepared for. When that's not really the case. You can still get with a chick who's going to hold it down. But to your point, if it's going to be in clubs and meeting chicks during Super Bowl week or NBA All-Star weekend, yeah, you're going to be running up on the sex workers and the OnlyFans chicks and the IG models. And y'all dudes will date these women and have children by them and then complain when shit hits the fan. Whose fault is that? And one thing that I'll say about Angel Reese, her and Shaq are two sides of the same coin. Angel Reese is on the opposite end of this. You can see it through her social media activity. She's already on this hip-hop socialite lifestyle type stuff. She perceives herself to be that way. She was on some podcast with some other chicks, and they were talking about dating. And, she said, well, if I'm going to, be with a man, settle down with a man, if I'm going to get married or whatever she was saying, it would, he has to be this tall because I'm tall, which that's fine because she's tall. So she wants a guy who's taller than her. I think you're limiting your pool at that point, but so be it. There's still a lot of tall men in the world, so that's fine. But she's also like, he has to be this tall and do this and do that and blah, blah, blah. And then the other women are like, oh, okay, so he'd have to be like an NBA player. And she was like, yeah, he'd probably have to be an NBA player. Well, good luck, Angel Reese, getting a dude who's going to be holding it down for you, and he's in the NBA, especially if he's an active player. But she'll get on her podcast and tell Shaq or whoever she was talking about, teach these men how to be men. Who are you talking about? The kind of men that you date? Because there's plenty of men who do know how to be men. They're just not swimming in the same pond that you fish in.
Right.
But you'd never know it because you believe you need to be fishing in this pond. So these two people were made for each other in terms of their mentality. Who knows what will happen to her? Good luck to her. But she has the same kind of thought process. She wants better for herself. But like most women who talk like that, she doesn't know how to get out of her own way. She'll keep talking to the same guys who give her the same result. And Shaq can't get out of his own way either. That's why he's 52. He's just like Shannon Sharp. They have all of this relationship wisdom, and they want to get on microphones and holler about what you need to do and not do, and what you need to check for and not check for when it comes to how you deal with women. But bro, you're pushing 60 and you're still living like you're a 25-year-old NFL player.
Yep.
And you completely have the wherewithal to not be living like that. You're not, because you choose not to be, not because you don't have a choice. You choose that life for yourself. There's a lot of women out here who look good, who would hold it down. You're just not fishing in their pond, sir. So I agree with you. I hear everything you're saying. And I think for the most part, what Shaq is saying is largely a load of BS. And, in my opinion, it's just a little sketchy when you talk like that, because there's a lot of guys out here who don't know no better, who hear stuff like this and they say, yeah, Shaq's putting me up on game. It's no different than the guys who watch these dating podcasts. They say, oh, I need to be put up on game. Let me watch this show. Let me watch this podcast, because they got it all figured out. Meanwhile, the type of women that they're bringing onto their show are the type of women that you don't want to be getting with, unless you're just trying to have fun for a night or two. So people's priorities are all the way twisted. And yeah, you're right. People don't know their roles. They don't actually know what being a man means.
Correct.
It all got twisted and convoluted.
Yep.
And it's just boiled down to pay to play and sex work.
Yep.
And that's the life that Shaq lives. Pay to play and sex work.
Yeah, 1,000. And so here's the thing, man. Like, age aside, man, he thinks like a kid. So I'm pretty sure there's all kinds of business things that he can put me on game on, and all this other stuff, and other life things that he can put me on. But his mentality overall, at least on this topic, is childish. And he talks like an addict. And and it's the same thing with Shannon Sharp. And which is why they would be that age and want to talk to a 25-year-old.
Yeah.
It's because of the boat that they're in mentally. So even though they're this age, they're atrophied in the sense that they can't see outside of that box, that bubble, that room. They're trapped in there, and they can hear all the wisdom in the world, but it's all going to get funneled through that room, which is going to say that's not true. That's not true. And like all of the stuff that we're saying now. So the way that I view the brain and how people process information is that it's like everything goes through your mental filter, and you can hear the most wise stuff on one end, but how your brain is configured through trauma, conditioning, you name it, your brain is configured in a way. So idealistically, you would like things to have its place, but when these people grow up in such a weird way, they start going to all these weird parties and doing all this. I'm talking about these celebrities doing all this weird stuff. Then their stuff gets construed. So we can say all the right stuff, but then things are going to get blocked off by their filters. Well, that doesn't equal sex. Hey, that doesn't equal sex later. Hey, I might get bored of that vagina. What happens when I get bored? And it's like, why is that even a thought process? But these are thought processes that are promoted through, as we mentioned, through various forms of media. You can try listen to a song. They talking about all kind of crazy stuff. You could try turn on a TV, Netflix, or anything else like that. It's a sex scene in every damn Netflix show now. Every damn TV show now. Hell, it can be network television. There's a sex scene. There's sex scenes everywhere. And so everywhere you go, it's showing you these various things of being salacious, being Hellenistic or hedonistic. And so there's this whole mentality that people's brains are getting conditioned in a way where they're becoming atrophied as thinkers. So even if they actually heard the appropriate information, hey, don't fish in that pond, go to another pond. Hey, do this instead of doing that. Hey, man, you don't have to deal with this Instagram thought. You can actually deal with something over here that's actually wholesome and blah, 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 blah. You actually have all the resources. That stuff goes in one ear and literally out the other due to their filtration system, due to their conditioning. And so unless people actually try to get some help and try to recondition their brain, they will be thinking like this since they were 19 up until they're 52 like Shaq, up until he's 70. And so long as he has that mindset as I'm gonna be alone for myself, that's a great way to filter out any great advice for his life. So he is in this space where he's actually doing dangerous rhetoric. I normally reserve that for the women. All right. But this is dangerous rhetoric for anybody else out there that wants to look up the Shaq and stuff like that. Because honestly, on the business forefront, you know, Shaq does it the right way. Post-retirement, while he was playing, like he handles things the right way. I bigged him up when we were talking about Jaylen Brown and him having shoes for the low so people can have name brand type shoes for the affordable. Shaq has done some cool things, but when it comes to this woman situation, he clearly has a very narrow tunnel vision when it comes to what he's actually attracted to and what he actually thinks of himself, his own self-worth. And for him to think that he's going to be alone at a certain age speaks to his view of his own self-worth. He doesn't think he's worth it because he knows he's a sex fiend. And so, yeah, these two are the opposite sides of the same coin, as you mentioned, because Shaq, being the person that he is, being the sexualized person that he is, because I'm seeing all over social media that they calling Shaq the creepy unk. Oh, he's the creepy unk. Angel Reese looked up to you. You know, she was, you know, you was her mentor and all this other stuff. Hey, man, he see you wearing them pants for the streets. Hey, I saw him too. Those are pants for the streets. Those are street pants. And Shaq, he been around the block a few times. He know what those pants mean, especially wearing them in a public venue like Wildin' Out. So he was like, hey, man, we're one and the same. What it do? What it's talking about? And so now people want to call him out. Oh, it's like, nah, y'all don't. Shaq clearly sees it. Social media, y'all need to see it. That both of these two are in the game. So he wants to, you know, swing for the fences. So, yeah, man. So his age aside, Shannon Sharp's age aside. And that's why you'll see those old heads at the club with the drink in their hand, with doing a two-step, you know, doing the same old thing because they have a wild filtration system. So if you do realize that you did have a wild filtration system due to levels of conditioning, coronography, and all types of other things, it's never too late. Yeah, it's never too late to try to recondition your brain and not fish in those same ponds anymore. Go try to find a different way of living and attract something different for your life. Yeah, man. So Shaq, this is dangerous rhetoric. I agree with it. If you live in that boat and you want to stay in that boat, you might as well live like how Shaq's talking. But if you don't want that for your life, if you don't want to be alone at 70, I wouldn't listen to him. So wild stuff, man.
And what makes it dangerous is he'll suggest implicitly that he doesn't want to be doing it either. Exactly. Like he'll implicitly suggest he wishes it was different. Shannon Sharp does the same thing. Yep. You know, I would imagine that people like Shaq experience tremendous cognitive dissonance. They go through an identity crisis. Shaq's identity crisis probably has to do with his relationship life. Just like, I often call Wale and J. Cole identity crisis rappers because they don't know how to balance their introspection with their desire to be out in the streets. Like there's a part, like I look at people like Wale and J. Cole, and I think that they embrace who they are from a worldly introspective standpoint. But I also think that there is a big part of them that wishes that they were like Drake. Like they both wish that they were like Drake.
Yep.
But they don't have that personality makeup. But they wish they did because they'd like to be living the kind of rock star lifestyle that Drake lives.
Correct.
And I look at Shaq the same way. He probably experiences cognitive dissonance because there's an aspect of his soul which says, I should be, or I want to be, or I yearn to be somebody who at 52 years old is able to take everything what I built and share it with somebody who is of some substance and quality. But he experiences tremendous cognitive dissonance because his social engineering is in direct contrast with that. And so he continuously finds himself back out on the streets doing the same old thing. The dangerous thing inherent in that, however, is he is always paying lip service to the idea that he does not want to be that way. And the only reason that he is because of the women and how the women are. And the thing about that is, no, bro, you choose to live like that. It's not necessarily an indictment on the women. And to the same effect, the women do the same thing.
Yes.
I want a man who does this, or I would like a man who doesn't do that. I'm not with that sharing men stuff, cheating, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But you continuously make yourself available to the kind of guy who, from a profile standpoint, is going to reinforce those very notions.
Yes.
So at that point, you need to make the paradigm shift.
Correct.
And if you fail to do that, it's on you. It is not men who are the problem. Just like for Shaq, it's not women who are the problem. So the blame deflection is what really needs to stop. People don't hold themselves accountable for their own decision making. It's the same thing with the whole divesting conversation and interracial relationships. I'll hear Black women specifically complain all the time about Black men who date outside of their race. And my first question to those Black women is, do you consider all Black men? Because you don't know that guy's story. You don't know how many times he may have tried to talk to women just like you and they rejected him. So you don't know that guy's story. You don't know what he's been through. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. You just don't know what that guy's story is. Mm-hmm. And all of y'all know that y'all would not consider every Black man walking up and down the street. You're going to look at him and you're going to say he doesn't dress good enough. He don't got enough swag. Maybe you think he doesn't make enough money. Whatever it is where it enters into your filtration system and it causes you to eliminate that guy from your consideration.
Correct.
So you're going to complain about him divesting, but you don't know what his experiences are. Maybe he's been up and down the block trying to talk to one Black woman after another who's attractive, and they probably determined he's not good enough for you. And so what is he supposed to do at that point? Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing. Like, we don't know our respective stories and histories and experiences, but we all deal with this cognitive dissonance where it's like, I want to be doing this, but I can't do it because the world is prohibiting me from doing it. And it's not true. You're prohibiting yourself from doing it. And she's going down that road. The stuff that she be wearing on her Instagram, you know the kind of dudes that kind of stuff attracts.
Shaq.
Yeah. And you do it anyway because that's your social conditioning. And then you get on your podcast with Shaq talking about teach men how to be men. Well, what men? Not all. Yeah. Not
learn
all
to be
men.
how about you learn to be a woman? How about that?
People need to stop blame deflecting. Stop blame deflecting. Shannon Sharp, it is not all women who are preventing you from getting married. You're preventing yourself from getting married. And Angel Reese, it is not men who don't know how to be men. You're preventing yourself from getting with a guy who knows how to be a man. That is on you. We need to hold ourselves accountable, quit with the blame deflection. And the sooner we do that, the less we'll see goofy sound bites like this.
100%. And last thing I'll say is, there's influences all over the place, both male and female. And whatever that's the form of entertainment for women, whether it's these reality TV shows, gossiping, social media pages, or what have you, there's all kinds of influences out there that are contributing to the mindset that modern women have. Same thing goes for the males. There's all kinds of content, that pornography. There's all kinds of content that's out there, these rap songs that are controlling your filtration system. And you really have to evaluate your thought processes and see why you didn't pay attention to that girl in the produce section. Is it because her clothes wasn't revealing enough? Is it because it looks like she's actually going to make you work for it? Is her ass not fat enough? Yeah, you got to ask yourself these questions.
Yeah.
And because this is what I had to do that. I said, why am I not talking to her? And it was these things, the ass wasn't fat enough. The face wasn't all the way there or something. You know what I'm saying? It looked like she was going to try to make me work. And I'm trying to knock stuff out of the park, on the first at bat. I'm not trying to, I want an easy picture. I'm trying to get something easy. I'm trying to knock something out the park real quick. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go up against a Cy Young winner. Why the hell would I want that? That Cy Young winner, you know what I'm saying, when she's out there, she's gonna strike out all these other clowns that come up around her. So now you're trying to figure out why this chick keep cheating on you. Maybe because she's easy to hit. Yeah, see, they didn't think about that. So you need to talk to the one that's actually throwing those, you know what I'm saying, those knucklers. You need the one to talk to, that's throwing those 107-mile-an-hour sliders. Like, God damn, I ain't trying to deal with all this. Where's the ones where it's like a home run derby? And that's where Shaq gets himself into trouble at. That's where people who think like Shaq got themselves into trouble at. That's how I used to get myself in trouble. Because I wanted something easy. And so guys ain't talking about that. So they need to evaluate their filtration process and see why they are attracting these type of women. It's because that's the woman you want subconsciously.
Yes.
And then you'll turn around and do the Drake thing and say, I can't find me a good woman.
Yes.
Nah, bro. You finding all these easy ones. That's your problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, people need to evaluate what they got going on, evaluate their filtration processes, evaluating your thought processes, and also evaluate the content you watch and consume, because that stuff is steering and creating new filtrations that probably never existed before. So just be cautious out there, y'all. Everybody, for the most part, is a victim of this if they got a cell phone or they grew up in North America. Yeah. So be cautious and be mindful of your own, and maybe you'll just filter out the crazies and find the one that you need.
Yep. I would also include the social media profile pages to your feeds. Mm-hmm. I think social media feeds ruin women more than men because it gave them a reference point to compare their relationship to others. And everything went south after that for a lot of women who they pit their men, their husbands, their boyfriends, the men that they talk to up against the man who's with somebody else who they follow on their feeds, and they see what they're doing, and the whole comparison game starts, and then everything goes downhill from there. So that's all a part of the content that contributes to the poisoning of the mind within this particular context. So everybody needs to check that stuff for sure. But yeah, good luck to both of y'all. Angel, good luck to you. Hopefully you figure it out, but a lot of times the women sadly don't figure it out. And Shaq, bro, yeah, you choose not to figure it out, bro. Shaq will be 70 and alone. I believe that. Him and Shannon Sharp, they should get a house together, and they should just run their harem. They should get a house together where they can just keep, they'll continue to run the thoughts all up and through the house together. So it'll be like that White House. The Dallas Cowboys back in the 90s, they had the White House. Mm-hmm. Michael Irvin talked about that. It was the house. Jerry Jones had a house for the Dallas Cowboys so that they can all do their thing and their wives wouldn't find out. Yeah, Shaq and Shannon Sharp need to get their own White House.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Good luck, y'all.
Yeah.